Hello there, food lovers, and welcome back to Stuff, the podcast where we talk about food, our favourite ingredients, and ways to get creative and inventive in the kitchen.
It's hosted by him, the Lagom Chef, Martyn Odell, and me, George Egg, the snack hacker. This is all about making fun food accessible and lovely.
We'll be talking about ours and our listeners' favourite stories.
And ingredients. And seasonality, sometimes, not always.
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to head over to our socials where you can ask us any questions at the Stuff Podcast. You can send all your whines, your questions, your stories, all of that kind of stuff.
And it is essential that you subscribe. Please subscribe because it makes a huge difference and it grows and it's good.
Should we move on?
Please do.
Right, George, what have you been up to?
Well,
Life? There's notes.
no, I jotted down some notes. I'll tell you what I did the other day.
Go on.
I had a
Exposed yourself.
I got my boy out in Borough Market and no, I didn't. Of course, I didn't.
No, do it early because no one's there early doors. Nothing opens till 11.
Have you ever been there on a Monday? There's nothing there.
Nothing?
Nothing
What,
at all.
The market's gone?
Yeah, I've been there, kind of going. I know what I'll go to Borough Market. It's like, oh,
Oh,
yeah.
shut.
Anyway,
go on.
For the international listeners, what's this Borough Market nonsense? I'll tell you what I did the other day. I had an idea for. I thought, I wonder if you made Angel Delight using Guinness instead of milk. Butterscotch Angel Delight
You brought some in,
using Guinness. And I did it.
and you brought it in.
No. I haven't brought it. I brought something else in for last week's episode.
Why didn't you bring it in?
Because it was so horrible
Oh,
and
right.
it didn't set properly. And when I was whipping it up, because I thought the flavour of Guinness with the kind of caramel kind of flavours in that, with the butterscotch, and I thought a bit of sweetness, bit of bitterness. I thought it could be interesting. Might be like a sort of solid cocktail kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, whizzed it all up, put the powder in, and the consistency looked really good. The colour was beautiful. It was lovely, kind of dark caramel colour, and put it in the fridge. Still floppy, mouthful, just so bitter, so disgusting. Yeah, what a disappointment there. But my point is,
Sorry.
you've got to experiment, haven't you?
You have to try new
You've got to
things.
try. You've got to go. Actually, let's just see if it works. You might be one of those situations where you go. So that's one of the things I did. So tell you what else I did. What?
I can't get it. I got the giggles because you stick a floppy one in the fridge. You got to experiment. Oh dear. That really made my eyes water.
Oh dear.
And what else did you do? Tell me. I'm trying to recover.
All right. What else have I done?
At least this isn't being recorded as a full episode where people see our faces.
Yes, because that's last week. Yeah. At the time of recording, it was my birthday a couple of days ago as well.
We're living in an alternate universe.
I
Go on, tell me
know.
what you cooked. I don't care about your birthday.
I made your favourite food.
Yeah, lasagna.
I made lasagna. Oh. I was very proud. It was a really nice one. It was the ragu. I wanted to recreate. I had this lasagna at a festival called Groundswell, as in ground is well. It's all about like regenerative farming.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit different, tricky to say. But and there was this food stall. The food there is really good, unlike so many festivals. There was a food stall there, and I can't remember what they were called. And if I do remember, when we post it on socials, I will say who it is. But it's this like open fire, chef food stall, and they had this lasagna that they'd done over an open fire. It was just absolutely amazing. They kind of covered it so that the cheese all melted, and it was a really heavy, dark, not very tomatoey, really sort of dark brown ragu, and then an incredibly milky bechamel, like not cheesy at all. So it really counted because it was so. I wanted to try and recreate that. So I made a ragu with. I thought it was birthday. It's going out. So I put a load of guanciale in.
Oh, God, show off. How
my
old were you on your
birthday.
birthday? It's my birthday.
52.
52.
Guanciale in there, fennel sausage, like proper Italian fennel sausage, all crumbled up.
See?
Ox cheek.
Wow,
Yeah,
blimey.
yeah. And anyway,
Have you got a gout?
No.
No.
I was quite reserved with the amount I had because there was cake to follow. I had to pace myself. But anyway, so yeah, and then not much tomato, and then loads of wine in there, and blah blah blah, and everything else. And it was just this really dark, incredibly sticky, oily ragu, and then no cheese in the bechamel at all, and then cheese on top. So it was just like super mild with super rich.
Blimey.
It was really nice.
Sounds delicious.
And it was enormous as well.
Did you have garlic bread with it?
Yes, of course.
Wild garlic bread.
No.
Oh, show off.
My son bought the garlic bread. I don't know.
Good
I
lad.
don't know how he did, but it was really, really very garlicky, very buttery.
And a nice crisp salad with it.
Kind of. Well, what I actually did a kind. That's what I love doing. So charring loads of veg. So I did broccoli and beans and what else to put in there? Onion, fennel.
Oh.
Yeah, all charred on a cast iron pan, and then leaves, and then quite a simple dressing and some seeds on that. And so it was and lots of lemon in the dressing. So really, with all the richness.
Yum.
No, it was great.
Oh.
And then 2 cakes.
What were the flavour of the cakes?
Chocolate and banana.
Ooh.
Zoe made that. And a rhubarb Victoria sponge, which Meg made.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, I love it when people cook with rhubarb. I never do. And then when people do it, I'm like, oh, I miss it.
It's so, well, it's that thing of when you got something, if you got sweet cake and cream, there's something about that super kind of, she didn't put much sugar with the rhubarb as well. So it was really like a lovely counter to the richness.
She knows what she's doing. What's the place? Is it Conditor and Cook? Conditor and Cook. It's like a cake place. I'm trying to remember. But they used to do a plum frangipane.
Yeah.
And I always remember having that, and the plums were like a bit sour. Then they had sort of like the creamy frangipane, but then with this like glaze over the top, and it was like, yeah. I used to serve it at restaurants. You walk past every. Have a slice to myself.
Yum.
One for you, one for me.
What have you been up to? What have you been eating?
Oh, I went for a really nice meal yesterday.
I saw oh my God, that looked really seriously good.
Yeah.
Where was it? Tell me all about it.
Darby's. So
Where's that?
Robin Gill. It's a really weird place actually. It's down like Vauxhall 9 Elms Way, where there's like the US Embassy, and there's like this building that's got a swimming pool which kind of goes in between the two of them. It's really bizarar.
What, like with a glass bottom kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like,
So you look up and you're like, see people just swimming. Yeah, it's weird.
It was shrunken
Junk.
boys.
There'll be you
junk.
pressing up against the side. Look at me. But no, we went to Darby's. Went my agent. Yes, went out for a lovely meal, business meeting, etc. Accountant, remember that one? And Darby's. Robin Gill. I've seen his stuff everywhere, and I went to a place called Zebra Riding Rooms, which was in a hotel called Birch, or like a members place, and that all shut down. But we went there for my birthday, and the food was insane. And then when my agent was like, we're meeting somewhere, I was like, let's go here, because I'm not paying. And
What did you have?
I had, so for starters, it was beef cheeks, all breaded, like shredded down, breaded, but then it was flavours of a Big Mac. So it had like mustard pickle, like little arancini style balls, but
Because
like
I saw the
croquettes.
photo on your social of that you could see the gherkin, but I didn't realise it was breaded ox cheek. Oh my
so
God.
good. And then he sent over some extra bits, so we had like a charcuterie board, which was just like good. I love it when it's just done well. Really good meats, and then like just really random thick chunky pickles. And then we had arancini balls he sent over, and then for mains I had the pork chop with an XO sauce, and then my wife had the pollock, and then there was like a scallop dish they did with like a seaweed butter. Just top tier cooking.
So was it your agent and your wife?
Took my wife along. Might as
nice.
well make the most of it. They're paying.
Too right.
No, it's nice. Trying to get Janine into the team, you see.
Yeah.
Get us come over to the dark side. So a big shout out to them. Lovely people, if they're
Yum.
listening.
That
Yeah.
sounds very
But the
good.
meal was amazing. And then the weird thing was, like, we booked it under Lee's name, and then we turned up, and then we sat down, and then they were all chatting. How is everyone? And then we ordered our food, and then the waiter came over and went, "This is from Robin." And I was like, "What, he's here?" Like, I'm a bit of a fan, so I was like, "Oh, cool." And then all the food came out, more bits came over, and at the end I clocked him in the kitchen, and I went over and said to him, and he was the nicest man ever. Thick Irish, "Martyn, how you, beep, 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 how you doing?"
So was it one of those situations where you knew him, but you didn't know he knew you? And so it was really
it was
nice.
so nice. And then we just had a chat, and he did this thing called the Bloodshot Supper Club back years ago, where it was basically like Saturday night, 12 o'clock, a party started, and chefs would come along after their shift because they don't work on Sundays, whatever.
Yeah.
And just get absolutely annihilated, but do amazing food. So it was like a very debaucherous 24-hour party, and I've always wanted to go. And they did it at Wilderness last year. But yeah, he's an incredible chef, does like amazing things. It has like big beef tallow resting drawers for the steaks. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Should we go?
Let's go now.
Yeah, let's go now.
That's the end of the episode.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, George, do you do Easter egg hunts? I know you haven't got young kids anymore, but...
No, and to be honest, I don't think we did Easter egg hunts when they were small. I mean,
No.
we'd give them Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Do you like all the Easter eggs and everything like that? Is that
No.
Here's a thing that I found from when... No, here's a memory I've got of being a child. Me and my brother, just always, if we got given Easter eggs, we would eat them immediately. You know, if we had, and we'd get, you know, from relatives, so we'd end up with like, you know, 3 or 4 Easter eggs or whatever, and we'd just eat them all. And then I had friends at school, I'd go to their houses in like June, and there'd be one on the side, and they'd go, what's that? It's like, oh, it's Easter egg. Haven't you eaten it yet? I know. How did I just...
No, I don't get it.
Yeah.
We used to do actually an Easter egg hunt in France where we used to go, and my brother was like the clever one. He just followed the person around, the bunny that was hiding them. So like, they'll be trotting around. I'll be like,
He's cheated.
Yeah, I'll be there in the bushes, like, where are they? And my brother's just like, look how many I've got. I was like, how do you do that? So I just follow that person around.
Let's follow that pretend rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Just
it's
join
a real
in.
rabbit. Anyway, should we move on to question of the week?
What's question of the week?
Well,
Remind me.
Well, George, it's the point in the show where we lay down a question, and then later on in the show, we answer the question. It's a fantastic hook to keep people staying for part 2.
And there's good facts that we learn.
Yeah, some of them, I was actually listening to a couple of our podcasts, and I was like, we guessed a few.
Sometimes we go, oh, I know this.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go,
Have you looked?
no.
Oh,
That's interesting. What was the first frozen vegetable to be available in the UK?
I'm going to go with carrots. I reckon there was an abundance of carrots. They didn't know what to do with them, and they froze them.
Probably the first freezers would be freezing things really slowly, so it wouldn't be something that would cope. So it would be something robust, yeah, like carrots.
Yeah.
But then I want to say peas.
Yeah. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back to that later on in the show. But for now, we're going to move on to part 2.
To that. But we're still in part 1 because it's time for
Star ingredient of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never listened to this podcast before, here's the section of the show where we pick an ingredient in a dish or something, and then we talk about it. So this week, the star ingredient of the week is...
There's a clue.
There's
a clue.
It's chicken. We're going to talk about chicken. The most used protein, I'd probably say, in the whole of the...
Perhaps the most
world.
abused. Well, I don't know.
Let's go dark so quickly. I was actually reading up about this the other day. It's quite interesting about like
the kind of
the
gradations
different
of
welfare.
Yeah.
So there's like your bog standard. No one needs to know what's happened to the poor thing, and then there's free range where they kind of get let out.
Well, isn't there? There's higher welfare between those two, isn't there?
Yeah, but does higher welfare actually mean higher welfare? Because I think there's a lot of, like you said, like degradations of that initial part.
Yeah.
There's like higher welfare, but they were saying that those kind of stamps are just like token gestures to higher welfare when you know, and they have fake farms, apparently fake farm names. So if you see like a chicken, it's like, this is from Heaven's Field. And it's
Things like, and I think that side of marketing is so fascinating, isn't it? So it's like Sainsbury's, you know, everything's Stamford Street. It used to be Value, and now it's Stamford Street. It's like, what's Stamford Street? Before that was Hubbard's.
I know, and the branding's got less and less. So
Yeah.
it's like you're eating in like the 1920s. And it's like, oh, cheers. Yeah, so there's a bracket in 3 categories. There's the first category where they say higher welfare and all of that kind of stuff, which is your bog standard, poor old chicken. Then you get free range, and then the organic. So when I was reading, the organic chickens are the ones that is like very specific certification where they have to tick certain boxes. So like the feed, the amount of time they're outside, the amount of space they have, the size of the flock. Like, so if you have a free range, you could have like 200 of them just having like an absolute party.
Yeah.
But then organic ones, maybe only like 20 or 30. So
yes, because I suppose you could have outside space that's incredibly confined. Like we're outside, but it's
Yeah,
you know,
free
we'd rather be
range.
inside because
Yeah.
it's, you know, there's a bit more room.
Yeah.
Like the little kettled bit outside a nightclub where people go to smoke.
oh
Maybe that's what the chickens they'll go out
smoking area chickens.
Smoked chicken.
Smoked chicken.
That's probably something that you do.
No.
Oh my God, we're psychic.
So look, George, I've got a couple of bits. Right. So what we're going to be doing, have you done this before? I do it all the time, and I don't know if you've done it. Velveting chicken.
No, I've read about it, and no, I haven't done it.
So velveting is a technique where you tenderize chicken by using acid. So we're going to use some bicarb. I've got some leaky stuff in here. So what you do is you get some chicken. Now the important piece is there's a couple of techniques of doing this, but the one technique that I've always used and Chin from Xiang's workshop uses is what you got to do is cut your chicken across the grain. So you have your fat end and your thin end, and then you go that way along. If you go that way, then you get a...
With the then you get stringy.
You get stringy. So
like a bit of wood.
Yeah, like a bit of wood. So what we got here is we've got some bicarb of soda, or for Americans, bicarb of soda. And what we're going to do is you're going to put like a 1/4 teaspoon onto here. And then what the bicarb does is it tenderizes the chicken. Now, this honestly happens in the space of about 10-15 minutes. So we'll cook that one at the end and we'll
about
taste...
a quarter, just
less.
about-
Less
That?
than that. That's it. Because if you put too much in, what will happen is
Do I sort of massage it over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What will happen is if you put too much, it will taste really soapy. And a lot of people go, they can taste the squeakiness when they have it in their mouth. So, a little bit of soy sauce. And then we're going to do a little bit of corn flour as well. And then all you do is you leave that for like 5-10 minutes.
I'm just going to move that so that our cameras can see.
There we go. I'll do.
Magic corn flour.
Magic corn flour, not the Colombian stuff. And then you leave that. And then what happens is you'll see it start to like fizz, and you'll always see it already. Grains in the chicken will start to break down. And it is the most amazing technique for doing a stir fry, for if you're making a curry, if you're doing anything like that. So the other techniques you can do is doing this, and you can do it with egg white. So some people do bicarb egg white, and then they leave it for a bit, and then they poach it in water, take it out, and then they fry it, which gives you a really, really soft chicken. But I think this technique is great, and if you only use a little bit of bicarb, you can't taste it.
And how long do you say?
Like 5-10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll come back to that.
But this is the other thing. So I saw this on a channel called Eater, a YouTube channel called Eater.
Tidy desk.
Tidy desk, tidy mind. I saw it and I was like, I've got to try it. So I tried it and I've done it. Right. This is only a poussin. But what you do is you bone out a whole chicken and you keep it whole.
Completely boned out.
Yeah. Look.
Did you do that?
I did it. That's why I cut myself. So I'm going to pull these out.
How'd you bone that out completely then?
Let's
so
go.
we could just eat that like a big burger.
Yeah, it's the whole. You could just eat the whole thing. Yeah. What you basically do is you go from the ins. You go in like its neck hole.
Yeah.
And then you pop out the wishbone.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you spatchcock it so that you can get to the back of it.
Yeah.
And then all it is a case, once you spatchcocked it and you got it laying down, you just like follow like you would debone the drumsticks anyway. So you just follow the legs and like that. And then what I've done...
I think I know what you've done. Can I guess?
Go on.
Is that cornflakes on there?
No.
Oh!
No, I'm not you, George.
No, but that looks like cornflakes, don't you think?
I know. I made...
Eat your cornies, son. Eat your cornies, son.
So I made some homemade buttermilk. So just a bit of milk, bit of vinegar, and egg.
Whoa. Homemade buttermilk? I've only ever bought buttermilk.
Well, yeah, it's just...
I didn't know you can...
Sour, isn't it? It's just sour milk.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know you... And I've seen like where people have said, replace with yogurt or yogurt and milk mixed together.
Yeah.
But you just
do
say
milk,
what you
milk
did again.
and vinegar. So it's just basically sour milk.
How much vinegar to how much milk?
Just a little splash.
Right.
And then I put an egg in there. So then the egg is the same kind of tenderizer as they would do with the Asian velveteen. And then it kind of helps it all. Good luck.
I'm learning so much today.
Isn't life great?
It's so good. It's just so nice, and it's learning, and oh my god, I'm starving.
Yeah, and the reason I brought these in, these are from Field Blends, but there was one I used yesterday.
Nice.
This one.
Nice
I use this one. Smell that.
Brandage.
But they're really cool. Really nice guys. They sent us a couple of tins. So I used that in this, but I brought all the rest along because they do some really great flavours. So I've got some hoisin.
Don't worry about it.
Going to do it like this. And then I've got this as well because, what's his name?
Wow, what's in
Old
that?
Hugh sent this and I didn't eat it. And I found it at the back of the fridge this
Oh, that's
morning.
really good. I got that one.
And it went out of date on the 1st of the 1st.
But that's stupid. It's kimchi. So how is it going to go out of date?
Exactly. It says
It
best
can't go out
before.
of date. The whole point is that it doesn't, isn't it?
So the whole idea is you've got this whole chicken. That's going to be fatty, a bit spicy.
Yeah.
And then we're going to hoist in a bit of sweetness. And then you got this acidity from these. I thought we'd just sprinkle it over the top and make it look pretty.
God, this is going to be absolutely delicious already. I know it. Are we putting any of these on? Did you say you already
Well,
did
I
that?
used a bit of that just to sort of season the chicken as I was going. And then I thought we'd just eat it.
And then you're going to cook that.
And then we're going to cook that and then we'll taste that. Do you want to do the honours? It's like a birthday cake. It's like I reckon cut through there because it's so weird that you're going to cut through a leg because there is no bone.
I'm so intrigued by this.
There's only the knuckle one because
Yeah.
I had to keep its shape.
Oh my God. I just so want to eat this immediately.
Eater, which does amazing things, but they do this a whole chicken. They only do 4 of them a shift because they sell out instantly, but they're also an absolute pain in the arse. It did take me about 15 minutes to do this tiny one.
But worth it. Shall we go for it?
Oh no. He's gone. Caught up. Oh, the set will fall down. Oh, that is so good.
That's so good.
That's so good. But imagine if that was crispy though, because that was so crispy when I brought it out this morning. It's just been festering in my bag for a little while.
So can I have some more?
Yeah.
Which bit did I have? I had a bit of leg, didn't I?
Oh yeah, have a bit
Let's
of
try a
breast.
bit of the breast. The Briast.
Oh, do you want this? Smoky coffee chili salt.
Yes. I want it.
I want it. Leftover
Maybe
coffee.
It spoiled it.
It hasn't spoiled it. And then I got some MSG because everyone freaks out about MSG, but this stuff, the honest umami, is honestly just delicious. You only need a little bit. We talk about it a lot, but that's it.
Whatever.
Yeah, great. Right, and the last thing I got sent through the post, which you all know, but close your eyes. We're going to put some on it. Open your hands.
I thought this on it.
Yeah. I thought this could be...
Oh, it's things inside. I thought it was like a weird floppy kind of piping bag. That's not caviar, is it? Is it caviar?
Look at his face.
The size of these tins.
Mate, I don't do things... I got sent it by the lovely people at King's Caviar. But I thought, an absolute mental meal.
Different.
Chicken
Oh, it's rat.
with a bit of caviar.
Yeah, and it's trout and salmon. Wowee.
Yeah. I loved the line here, milked by hand. I read it this morning. I was just like, that's so weird.
It's a bit dodgy, isn't it? I want them to send some to me.
Well, George, listen, I'm walking on the wing of a plane for their charity. So unless you're going to do that, you have to buy your own caviar.
Is it worth it, folks? I tell you what this is like shoe polish. Maybe we should try cooking with shoe polish instead of caviar.
Funny you say that. Wow.
That's the trout. That's the salmon.
Well, let's chuck it on some.
I want to try it by itself first, just to see what it's like.
I might try and do an actual tutorial on how to bone out the chicken because
Yes, you really should.
it was you could figure it out.
Shall I try putting some of this on here?
Yeah.
Yes, I shall. Trout pearls.
Trout pearls.
Trout pearls. That sounds like a pet name for someone. Oh, hello, trout pearls.
Hello. Oh yeah. Salty.
Texturally, that's really
This one's got like little eyeballs in it.
it's like frog spawn. Yum. God, I'm enjoying this. When's my next bit ready?
Yeah. 2 minutes, chef.
That's going to be hot.
I think it's cooked. It's cooked.
Yeah, but I'm worried it's going to be very hot.
Yeah, mate.
What's really hot?
It's so good.
That's so tender.
So
Oh
soft.
my God, that's so tender.
Yes! I tried to explain it once. I said it almost tastes like raw chicken because it's that soft.
Yeah.
There we go. Great. What a fun section.
This has been one of those delightful episodes so far where I just go away going, I just want to recreate everything you've done. No, I really do though.
But the velveteen, though, you can't taste the bicarb, can you? If you go too heavy on it, you can taste it. But some people, social media people, get really weirded out about it and say you have to wash it off. But Chin from Zhang's Workshop says you don't. So you don't.
Big shout out to them. I've got their first book. They've got 2 books.
Yeah.
First book, absolutely, I use it all the time. Absolutely brilliant and great channel and lovely folk.
Velvet, pane it, bougie nugget.
Yes, chicken nuggets. Do you like chicken nuggets?
Mate, I could eat 60 of them. It's the Ali G line, isn't it? Where he's like doing the, I was going to do a food protest. And he's like standing there, I'm going to starve myself. And he ties himself to the thing. And then his mate comes along. He's like, do you want a chicken nugget? And he's like, chicken tender. Oh, dear.
I hadn't had McDonald's chicken nuggets for ages, and I got some last year, and my memory of them was like, oh wow, these are great. I think I've had too much of this kind of thing now.
Yeah.
That actually when I had it was like, this is just like,
Yeah, there's a time and a place for them, though,
fluff,
isn't it?
like-
If you're in a restaurant and you had a chicken nugget, you'd be like, oh. But if you're on the street, 10 pints deep, and you're like, chicken nugget, box of 20, barbecue sauce.
I know, what does it go? It goes 6, 9, and then suddenly
20.
20. It's like,
Yeah.
what happened there?
Where's the
it's
40?
like to share. But it's like the Mars duo, one for you, one for a friend. It's like,
Nah.
trying to fool us.
Right, let's move on. Chicken's fun, isn't it?
I'm still eating it. That's how fun it is. You've really opened my eyes.
Oh, good. You were quite tired. Ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3, George is back in the room. Should we move on to Britain's Faves? So, ladies and gentlemen, Britain's Faves is a section of the show where we talk about one of Britain's favourite things. It could be a dish. It could be a thing. I don't even know how to
Well, it's
describe
usually a
the
dish, and
segment.
it's like something like, a kind of like go-to, like a burger or whatever.
Fry up.
And this week, we're being apt because of it's nearly
Easter.
Easter time. So we're going for... Hold on.
Oh. Coffee's kicked in. He's going to poo. No. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about hot cross buns. George, do you like hot cross buns?
I do. I do, kind of. I'm not overly keen on dried fruit in bread products.
Really?
Yeah. I love raisins and sultanas in other things. I love them in cakes where everything's a bit moist. There's something about the texture. I'm not fussy. I'll eat everything, and of course I'll eat hot cross. you know, when they're presented to me, I'm not going to go, no, ding, ding, ding. But
I'd love to see you do that one day.
but there's something about the texture of bread with the little chewy, there's something a little bit like sort of flies in it.
But you got to toast it though.
Yeah, no, I like them, but I'm not, you know, I don't go crazy for them.
Toasted, really salty butter, and I think.
Oh no, of course. And the last, no, I mean, I do like them. And the last 2 years, because the rest of my family really loves them. And the last 2 years, we have made fresh hot cross buns.
Oh, I was about to ask, have you ever made them? There's a note.
Yeah, only like once a year at Easter, we'll make a batch, and it's great fun, and it's great piping the white, you know, getting the cross really neat. And
I was going to say, what's the rough recipe? I've never made them.
God, I don't remember.
No, but is it like cakey or is it doughy?
It's
or
like a slightly brioche bread. So
Right.
it's like an enriched white dough, basically. So yeah, there's sugar and butter, and I think there's egg in there as well, maybe.
And then what's the piper?
So the piper is just, as far as I remember, I mean, as I say, every year, you know, I
haven't done it since last year.
Again. As far as I remember, I think it's literally just flour and water.
Yeah.
I think maybe a little bit salt, and it sinks in, and so it's got no flavour, but you just get that white cross as opposed to everything else being nice and amber colour.
And why has it got a cross?
Oh, I don't know, because of
Me
God.
neither. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Maybe Jesus liked hot cross buns, something like that.
Maybe Jesus was a baker.
Maybe Jesus was a hot cross bun.
Maybe Jesus just didn't like sultanas and had to hide them in something.
But then he's going to eat them, isn't
Are
he?
you Jesus?
I think well, now, okay. The thing is, when I do my live show,
Yeah.
I cook 3 modest-sized plates of food, and I get audiences of varying sizes, and then at the end, the audience gets to try the food. Like, I've sold out, you know, 200 seaters at Edinburgh.
Sure.
But then at the end, the people eat the food, and regardless of audience size, there's always the same amount of food left. And I think that people sort of police themselves. So if it's like a group of 8 people, they'll go, well, I'll taste a bit of that, you taste a bit of that, you taste a bit of that, and we'll talk to each other. In a Christ-like way,
Yeah.
sort of, you know, loaves and fishes kind of thing. So in a way, I am
Jesus.
Christ.
Do you part the waters when you leave?
Only if their waters are there.
Great. You would be fantastic at a bar. Just tap water, please, and then just wine. Get absolutely sozzled.
See, I don't know how he did that.
No.
Oh no, this is the thing that makes me laugh. So where I live, just up the hill from where I live, there's a bakery called Ravens, which is a lovely bakery, and it's a traditional old bakery that's been there for way before all the trendy sourdough bakeries that have cropped up in Brighton. So it's more old school, you know. But they do hot cross buns, and everyone who lives around there is all very sort of middle class and sort of yummy mummy kind of vibes. And they're all very Easter, we will queue to get the hot cross buns from Ravens on Good Friday, something like that. I don't know.
Weekend.
Whatever the day
Day they're not
when they
working.
pick them up.
Yeah.
And then people will sort of say, oh, I went there this morning. I had to queue for 2 hours. Like, well, I had to queue for 3 hours. Like, they're all sort of impressed. Like, I tell you what I do think works really well with the hot cross bun is bacon roll made with a hot cross bun.
What?
That really works because you get the sweetness, you get the super salty fatty with the sweet, and
Wow.
loads of butter, bacon and marmalade.
I was about to say, but what about a bit of Stilton? It kind of goes back to that mince pie chat. It's the same flavours. Stilton.
That would work too.
Hot sauce, bacon
Definitely.
and hot sauce.
Well, I did a video, and it was bacon, marmalade, a bit of caraway to give it that slightly kind of Nordic bakery flavour, a bit of chilli. So yeah. Anyway, bacon hot cross bun.
We're in sync. Should we have a chat about listeners' questions and stories? Because it's actually my 3rd favourite segment of the show.
It's my 3rd and a half.
All right. Daisy. Do we know a Daisy?
We should just quickly tell the listeners what we're talking about.
Yeah, you do that while I think if I know a Daisy.
Phone up. What?
0800 28 29
Phone up.
30.
You send us via all the means, the ways, your questions, your stories, your queries, but then also your whines and your whinges and things that actually that really can't stand. I got one I thought of this morning.
I've actually got one as well. Shall I tell you a funny story while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Because it is a story. I thought I'd seen a murder as I was walking here because there was like blood splatters. I watched so much like 24 hours in police custody, crime scene stuff, that I like feel like I'm a detective. And I was walking along just down the back there, and it was like this blood splatter, and I was like, all the things I remember, like the direction of the blood splatter, like how heavy it is.
Detective Martyn.
Yeah, all of this stuff.
Your deer stalker.
Yeah, and then I was going along, and I was like, and then got around the corner, and because we were near Borough Market, it was just some punnets and blueberries that had plopped, and they had obviously picked them up, like it splattered, and yeah. There we go. Right, let's move on.
I thought you were going to say, because there's a Holly Walsh routine that's very funny, where she just talks about that I thought there'd been a murder, and like where I live, and it turned out it was actually just a farmer's market. But with white tents.
There we go. Right, Daisy, what have you got for us? For 3 years in school, my food tech teacher used to repeatedly tell us how poisonous the seeds are in bell peppers, and how we had to wash the peppers for ages before using them to make sure no seeds were hiding in different crevices. Was she just scaremongering us, or is there a truth in this?
Well,
I'm not dead.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it's true. It goes back to the whole thing about like eating bananas and you'll die of potassium poisoning.
I would imagine it's one of those things that, a sort of old wives' tale that then, was perpetuated, and actually, I mean, we don't know how old Daisy is. She might be about sort of 80 or something.
Yeah, she might be 6. I don't know.
She sounds like she's 6 from the name.
Yeah. Unless the pepper started growing inside her, and then you had like a pepper tree inside, like growing out your bottom or something. It might be a way of
swallowing the pip.
I do that all the time. It's never happened.
It's good for you, apparently. The pip.
And they say it's got arsenic in it. If you crunch an apple seed, they say that it's got arsenic in it, and that can be really poisonous. Once
but
again,
not enough to,
mate. No. Come on.
Well, Daisy, our team here has had a little Google, and they've said no nonsense.
Daisy, try it out. Eat a couple of seeds. Give us a call next week. What do they call it when it's like this is a real life event? You know what they do when there's like a military exercise. When there was 9/11. And then like, they were going, this is a real life event. Everyone's like, you're joking. No, this is a real life event.
Like Cry Wolf kind of vibes.
Yeah. Right, should we move on to a wine?
So the wine list. The wine list. Could you go and get the wine list while I explain? So the wine list is where sometimes we have our own little kind of complaints. And this is a very positive podcast where we're all like full of, this is good, that's good, find about this and taste this and blah, blah, blah. But everyone has the occasional kind of moans and whinges, and so people send them in, and we either put them on the board if we agree, or we say no, we disagree, or we say we agree, but here's a solution.
A new one, fresh chalk.
We've got fresh chalk, but we need a fresh board because we're running out of space. You're gonna have to occupy this little space here.
Or should we deplete some? Maybe we'd have to have like a vote off what stays and what goes.
Okay.
Maybe what we could do is like do one of those things where it's like, like the Football World Cup. We have like the group stages, and then they vote who goes through, and then it gets into a semi-final because let's do it. Right, go on then. Crack on for
number
wine.
1. Harry says the pull tab on a bacon packet, it never works. Yes, that's just so true. It's just like, and especially if you haven't got any kind of fingernails on it to grip it with, so you're just slipping off. Yeah. Yes, I can't think of ever not putting a knife in and going to get the bacon out.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Totally agree. That's going straight on there. Yeah, I just don't have it. You know what I mean? Just go, why tease you with the promise of something that you can't achieve?
Hams are good, though. The ham ones are quite good.
Yes, it's just the bacon, isn't it? It's super glued in, and probably for a reason, and it being vac packed and everything else. But it's still
talking of nails.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. My wine is perverts on the internet.
Oh yes, you had a thing. So Martyn and I both are neurotics who bite our nails. What happened?
I got a message from a guy saying, "Do you bite your nails?" Well, it could be a guy, it could be a girl, I don't know. He said, "Do you bite your nails?" And I replied to everyone. I said, "Yes." And they went, "How much?" And I was like, question mark? And it went, and then I clicked on the profile and it says, "I buy pictures of people's biting their nails because they've got a fetish over it."
Isn't that weird?
And what 60 quid.
One nail.
One nail, yeah. John's going to put perverts.
I mean, it could be worse. You know, it could have asked you to do something far more...
George, I did. Let's move on.
That was just the tip of the iceberg.
Can you my new T-shirt? You like it? It costs me loads.
It's your go.
It's like when Lily Allen sells her feet pictures. I just sell.
Lily Allen selling feet pictures?
I don't know.
Lily Allen, indeed.
Lallan. Oliver's wine is any eatery that is child/family orientated tends to serve dreadful food like it's a trade-off. Absolutely not.
No, of course it doesn't.
Get off, Oliver.
What a load of nonsense. I tell you what I
bet that's just like a man that hates kids or something.
I hate when restaurants have a kind of like no kids section. And there used to be a place in Brighton called Woody's Diner. Woody's Diner, it's gone now. But it was by the beach, and one side that looked out over the sea, which was really lovely, was no kids. And the whole thing of the Woody's Diner was a kind of American diner, and it did Knickerbocker Glories and, you know, banana kind of
Sundays
like silly, all that kind of malarkey. So it was very family friendly. And then I remember going in there with our family, and we were like, "Oh, can we sit over there?" And I'm like, "Oh no, there's no kids over there." And it's like,
what's the point?
yeah, so horrible. So anyway, I don't like that. Anyway, I don't think Oliver's.
No, my friend Paul Hooman has got a place called the Collab in Walthamstow, and it's just like a lovely burger place. We're not a burger place to change the menu, does amazing food, and the kids' menu is great.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. No, I think I think either you're wrong or you're just eating it in the wrong places, Oliver. So it's not going on. Will says, "Should I do my one?"
If you want
Because
it.
it's one that I've realised this morning. It's the red staining on Tupperware when you put something tomatoey in, and it's just impossible to get it out.
No, there's another hack for it. WD-40.
Spray WD-40 in your eyes and you can't see it.
Exactly. No, there is a hack for it. I can't remember what it is. I'll find it. It's one of those things that always pops up
you
my
can't
feed because of the
scrub
kids
it,
things.
You can't abrase it, you know.
I think it's
Because I've just found, like, use wash because you don't want to scratch it, so you use just like, you know, a soft cloth and loads of washing up liquid, and it's still
I can't remember.
red.
There is a hack for it. I'll find out and we'll talk about it another time. Let's say Will. When you get given a 2-hour booking
slap.
Yeah. When you get a 2-hour booking slot to eat and nobody turns up at your table with a menu for 15 minutes at the start.
What?
What?
Oh, I see. Nobody turns up at your table with a menu.
Well, it's just so you don't sit there all night. I think some of these people don't understand the restaurant business. Like, if you came into a restaurant,
No, that's not his wine. His
What
wine
is
is
his wine?
his wine is saying that you're given 2 hours.
Yeah.
But then the first 15 minutes you're waiting for the menu. Like that, if they're going to give you 2 hours, they should get the menu straight over. I haven't found that's been a problem.
No,
So.
2 hours is quite a long time.
Yeah, but that's not his problem.
No,
His
but I'm
problem
saying
is
2 hours is quite a long time.
Yeah,
Still, if you have an
yeah.
hour and 45, it's still quite a long time to eat a meal.
Yes, yeah. I suppose he's just saying bring the menu straight over. That feels a little bit, you know, there might be.
Should have just said, his wine should be, I hate it when people just don't bring the menu over straight
And
away.
also, if you're like me, you always look at the menu way in advance because you know that you're going to be crippled by choice when you get there. So read the menu, study the menu, get to the restaurant and then go, well, no, I'm having.
Yeah.
And then when everyone else orders, go, I'll change my mind now because I'll see what you've got and I want the same as you. Yeah, no, that's not.
Not good enough
No,
for me.
sorry, Will. But Harry got on there with his bacon, Paul.
Well done, Hazza.
Nice one. What were you said you had one?
Yeah.
Mark's got one. What's yours?
Well, we've talked about it before on the carrot segment. Circular carrots or circular frozen carrots. I think they are awful.
They're just boring.
And
They're
watery.
so boring and watery and just like something from the
Future.
the war or something.
The war, the reverse future.
Or the future.
Well, that was that. Good wine. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to get your wines in, please send them in to @TheStuffPodcast on Instagram because Sadie or someone will be monitoring that station.
I've just looked at the answer to the question of the week.
Have you? What was it? What was the question of the week?
Don't look yet. It was, what was the first vegetable to be frozen on Earth? No, the first available, frozen veg, wasn't it?
Yeah, we said carrots.
I'm surprised. Have a look.
Asparagus?
Spargle?
Who?
Spargle? No.
I can just imagine the stench of eating asparagus nicely makes your ding dong stink, but then having it frozen and then cooked just makes me think of like soft, squidgy, intensified, stinky urine.
I can't imagine it surviving the freezing at all. I mean, maybe they did it and they went,
well,
we got to work on this.
Let's try something else.
We got to work on this.
Yeah.
This is just like some mushy.
You know why they did it? Top of the alphabet.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon they wrote all the vegetables down and they went, let's get started.
So by the time
asparagus,
they got to
carrot,
watermelon, they were like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!"
Should we try watercress? No, just stupid.
Is there a vegetable that begins with Z? Oh my god, this is a bit like last week when we were doing the
zucchini.
A to Z.
Zucchini.
Yes,
I had
zucchini.
I had one for you.
Sorry, I was just doing like silly face. Zucchini, yes. although, don't you hate? Here's one for the wine list. When people in this country call courgette zucchini,
yeah, fucking idiot.
That's for the wine list for me.
And Connor Spacey, I'm going to call him out because he's Irish, and I don't understand. Was there like an influx of American people into Ireland? Are they allowed to have this? I don't know.
Maybe because a lot of Ireland started America, didn't it?
So, but he calls spring onions scallions. I'm like, mate.
Maybe that's an Irish thing.
It's not.
Can you do it in an Irish accent?
Scallions.
You get your scallion.
You get your little scallion and you chop it up and you put a little bit of it in heedly.
Well, don't put your scallions in the
soup.
Don't put your scallions down the road. It's funny, that's one of the accents we can do, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Can you do that one in it? No. Yes, here we go. The first frozen vegetable to be available for sale in the UK was asparagus, made by Smedleys of Wisbeach.
Smedleys of Wisbeach. That sounds like
Harry Potter.
Smelly bits.
Yeah. And it went on sale for the first time in May 10th, 1937.
Wow.
There we go. Maybe they didn't know what a freezer was back then.
Though Clarence Birdseye.
Oh,
that's his actual surname.
That's great. That's like Kenwood.
I thought it was going to be.
That'd be a great 30-second one. How many people can you name that
who've been then in culinary direction?
Yeah.
Though Clarence Birdseye is credited with inventing in 1924 the quick freezing method. It was Smedley who first made it available in the UK. Oh, I see. So that's like 13 years earlier.
Jeez.
Quick freezing. So that's what it's about. That's how it all works. It's frozen like super fast.
But it's frozen at source, isn't it? Like that's what happens with a lot of stuff.
So if you got fresh peas and you just put them in your own freezer, you wouldn't get the same result as if you bought frozen peas.
No, because I think frozen peas have been cooked, blanched and refreshed and then frozen.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's why if you take a pea out, you can kind of just leave it to thaw and you could probably eat it. A lot of stuff is kind of pre-cooked before it's frozen. Otherwise, it will break down all the cell structure. It does something weird.
On my birthday, I did a thing with peas just defrosted.
There you go.
Yeah.
But if you have fresh peas, they're like hard little bullets. Crunchy, aren't they?
I mean, nice, but just different.
Yeah.
A little bit powdery.
And most fish is frozen as well. Well, pretty much all fresh fish is frozen before you get it.
Frozen at sea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frozen at sauce.
Frozen at sauce.
Love sauce. Oh, my gosh, George. We've made it to the end.
What a good episode.
How fun.
I'll tell you what was the highlight of the episode for me.
Yeah?
Eating all that chicken.
Oh, I thought it was when you were talking about floppy things in your mouth at the beginning.
What was that? Oh, the Guinness Angel Delight. Don't try it, listeners.
Oh,
do try it.
Do try it and just
see what you think. You might go, the thing is, different palates. So someone might go, oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some IPAs, I'm like, it's like a mouthful of like soapy water. And then someone else will go, oh no, it's better.
Maybe that's cooking. Hey, cilantro or coriander.
Zucchini. Sometimes I find like I have a zucchini and it's like fluffy in the middle, you know. So do you cut out the core in your zucchini?
Just keep eating it all.
What I was thinking is you could cut out the core of the zucchini and pop a scallion in there,
and then wrap it in an eggplant.
Wrap it in thin slices of eggplant. Put it in the icebox,
and then get a bell pepper.
What else? What else is there? Have we done them all?
Yeah, there's loads. No, there's loads. But let's wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed another episode of Stuff. This has been great. Cheers. Bye now. Thank you. Bye.
Once again, you follow us. Yeah?
It's like a public service announcement.
You please must.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up another episode of Stuff. Thank you all for listening. I hope we kept you entertained. I hope you learned something. And we hope you try that chicken dish.
I have learned something. Once again, make sure you follow us on social media and comment and subscribe and share and tell your friends in real life as well to listen to the podcast because we love doing it.
We do.
And we love you listening to it.
Yeah.
And watching it because we're on YouTube now.
Right. I suppose we'll see you next week.